disclaimer, this is not a blind commentary. I've already seen the show at least 1 billion times, believe me, I've checked. This is intended to be a sort of commentary or a review of the show while I'm watching it. For copyright reasons, I'm not going to be showing the show on screen like usual reaction videos do. This is good for 2 reasons. 1, if you want to hear my commentary alongside your viewing of the show to keep track of where I'm at in the episode, you can. Just play your episode when the countdown timer is up. And 2, I can give my thoughts on the show much faster this way, without much editing. So without further ado, let's start the episode. Hello everyone, and this is my review commentary for the 2nd episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, titled The Avatar Returns. And this episode did air with the first episode back in February 2005. It was kind of like a mini-movie. This aired with the first episode. They were really, you could tell that they were really trying to hook the viewer. Like, they were just like, one episode's good, but 2 episodes, oh boy. And it does feel like a mini-movie too. Like, it's paced more like a movie. So yeah, here we go. Episode 2, The Avatar Returns. Alright, we have our establishing shot with the flare, leading off with the consequences of the first episode, where Aang accidentally sets off a flare. I said in the last commentary, I said like how it's important that this show gets out of the way this idea that, you know, this isn't your typical Nickelodeon cartoon. Like, there are consequences, and it is going to be much more story based. So I think it's a really, really good thing for the writers to go, hey, just something as simple as a flare going off could be really, really dangerous for this peasant tribe. Here we see Sokka taking up a leadership role. He's like totally justified in this. This is the first time we see him like really angry, to be honest, which is nice. It's always nice to see the characters get mad, you know? But yeah, like, there's, speaking of scenes, or lines, but like last commentary I said how, like, simple lines in this show always, like, get me choked up, even if it's like a comedic line. The one I was referring to is coming up right here. Yeah, here we have Katara being pretty selfish about her wanting to learn waterbending, which I like because that's set up for later. I love that this show just sets things up and it just feels planned and feels like there's a purpose. Every piece is a puzzle piece to the overall puzzle. Repetitive, I guess, but still. It's this line right here where Aang says, I haven't cleaned my room in 100 years. I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I always, you know, just to couple with the music that's, like, really subtle in the background, I always get, like, really sad at that. You know, it's supposed to be a funny line. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get it. It is a funny line. Like, oh, wow, I haven't cleaned my room in 100 years. Not looking forward to that. Like, it's really funny, but, like, when you see, like, you know, he gets to his home and everyone's dead. It's just really sad. It's really sad, and I'm laughing right now, but, like, yeah, it really is, like, really sad, and I always get choked up. But since these commentaries that I'm doing, like, they're much less about me just trying to watch to enjoy, and it's me just giving my thoughts on the show. I'm not really gonna be tearing up much, so. I love that little setup right there, by the way. We passed it, but the little setup of Kana, Gran, like her reaction to, like, Katara being upset about not learning waterbending. It's set up for later when she's just like, you know what? You'll need these. You have a long journey ahead of you, which is another line that fucking destroys me, like emotionally. Sorry, the show just it kills me, man. Fucking Nickelodeon cartoon just gets me deep in the feels. Can't help it. Can't help it. I love this scene right here. I've talked about this many times, like with some of my friends. And like I've talked about it on the Avatar One Facebook page that I also administrate. I'm admin Cliff Jumper, if you didn't know. Um, I've talked about like how this scene. I love the parallel of this scene, like Zuko being he's getting ready for battle, and so is Sokka, but Sokka's alone. He's he's like he's just a young kid. He's just a warrior, like or a young kid trying to be a warrior, I should say. And Zuko has servants to do it for him, which is kind of ironic too, because later in the show, there's a huge emphasis on like Zuko being alone and how he always tries to do things by himself. So it's kind of interesting to see like him having servants to do it for him. I don't think that's like a flaw or anything with the subtlety in the writing or anything. I just think that it was a good visual for this episode to show that, Zuko is royalty, so he would have servants, even if he was banished. Love this moment right here, the sound design of the ice cracking, and ooh, so good. It's amazing. Um, love seeing the humanity. I love that Sokka stands his ground right here. Like, it's a really stupid move. Like, oh, Mae Whitman's delivery on that line is amazing. Sokka! Like, she just, like, her voice cracks and everything. So good. But yeah, I love how Sokka, like, he stands his ground, so it's like, hey, this guy has honor. He might be an idiot, and he might not be the greatest warrior yet, but he's full of honor, and he is a likable hero. I love it. Here comes the tip of the letter opener ship. I've seen people call the Fire Nation battleships like the warships like letter openers. I think I've seen that. I think I've heard that like at least once. I don't know if they were referring to this show or they were referring to the last Airbender movie, Shyamalan's movie, but I remember hearing it and I thought it was funny. Well, this introduction, like we already saw Zuko as the audience, but like just this really cool scene. It's kind of like Star Wars, to be honest. It's really cool, and this show takes some inspiration from Star Wars, so it makes sense. I love that Zuko like kicks Sokka too. He's like, "Get away from you, you peasant." It's cool. I love this scene too. How Zuko is saying like, "He'd be about this age, master of all elements." Like that's usually a kid show would really, really try to explain, like, wait, why the hell is Zuko looking for an old person? Isn't he looking for Aang? But this show, like, it takes the audience so seriously that it's like, it makes perfect sense. Zuko doesn't know that he's a kid. Just because we, the audience, know he's a kid doesn't mean a character in the show doesn't know. So, like, you might think that, like, I'm really stretching there. Like, that I'm really thinking too much into it. Like, well, no shit. He's a little kid. And they're looking for an old guy. Like, you might think that I'm stretching there. But it really is little details like that, man. It really is. Like, that shows you the quality of the writing and the faith that the creators and the writers had in the audience for this show. It's very important, too. Because if the show wants to be taken seriously, it's got to be subtle. It's got to be smart, which is definitely why I think a lot of anime, if not most, that I've ever seen just gets it all wrong. But that's a topic for another day. Um, oh, here we got our first showdown with Aang and Zuko. Boom! The wind. Oh boy. Love it. You're the Avatar? Like it just, I get chills every time I see this stuff. Like it's such a small confrontation, but like just knowing what these kids are gonna do in in the next few seasons and makes you look back at these moments like, oh, the confrontation, the first time. You get some really great poses on here with Zuko. Zuko's doing some Northern Shaolin kung fu. I think it's Northern Shaolin. Like I know Northern Shaolin's based is what Firebending's based on, but like apparently they had more forms of kung fu used for each elemental bending style. So I'm pretty sure that was the Northern Shaolin. Like it's like tiger palms and stuff. It looks really cool. I love that "I'm going home" line. Like when Zuko just says "I'm going home." Like I again a line a line that kills me. Like I'm sorry, man. Like the show just has those lines. It's just the writing, man. I know it sounds like I'm overpraising the show, but I don't think I am. I really don't. I just think that this show is wonderful in just every aspect. This is the first time we hear the Water Tribe theme. We hear this quite a few times, actually. Like when Katara's healing her hands in the Deserter episode later this season. Like we hear that, and I love that. I love that this show has themes going throughout it. I love this moment. Alright, I said earlier that since I'm analyzing, or not analyzing, but talking about it, I might not be tearing up or anything, but oh boy. Yep, they got me. Uh, the show got me, even when I'm not even like trying to watch it to enjoy it or getting vested or anything. I'm just show has a hold on me that I cannot escape. Kills me. I didn't like tear up like hardcore or anything, but I did start to get a little misty eyed. Just a little bit. Um Oh, the first time we hear about Destiny. I think. This is the first time we hear about Destiny. An integral part of the Avatar series. Guitar is just like Appa just runs towards him. Great line coming up right here. I suppose you wouldn't know of fathers being raised by monks. Love it. Love the line. It gives me chills. It, like it's not just dialogue that like, you can write dialogue. Like it's not that hard to write dialogue, but it's unless you're like a talented writer, it is hard to write good dialogue, I think. And the dialogue in the show is so fucking good. It's so good. Like just that little scene of Zuko saying, I suppose you wouldn't know fathers being raised by monks. Like, it just shows the importance that Zuko places on his father, and I just, I love it, man. It's really great stuff. I love this little sequence of Aang escaping, because, like, I think a lot of shows would, like, drag this out. It's like, Aang's not escaping. Why isn't he? He has wind powers. But this show is like, no, he would escape immediately. And it literally has him do that. He's just like, nope, I'm out. Time to go get my staff. And, yeah, I love this part. I love Sokka's just so unenthused. He's just like, ascend, elevate. This killed me when I was a kid. I was laughing so hard at this. This is the first time we see Appa fly. Ah! That's something that I have to mention is like, they're showing Appa take flight for the first time, and they're making it a really big deal. Like it's like really cheerful and the music's happy and it's like it's that reason that like the show is executed so well. It's like they could have just had Appa fly off. They could have just had him, it's just Appa just flying. Wow, isn't that amazing? But no, they were like, they made it this big, fantastical, wow kind of moment with the music and the animation and the characters like saying he's flying. Like it goes all the way with all of its elements. It doesn't skimp out. Like it I know it sounds like I'm just talking about man, prune ball. It's just Appa flying. But like seriously, a lot of things don't have that sense of fun and the show is not afraid to do it. It's also not afraid to get extremely serious either. It's just the perfect balance. Oh boy, love this fight. Yeah, you could tell Kishan Ryu definitely animated this scene. You could just see his blood all over these drawings. That sounded really bad. I just said it. Yeah, there's blood all over the drawings. No, that's not what I. That's not what I meant. But like you could, you could literally see his DNA in these drawings. A lot of energy, a lot of wrinkles in the clothing. Practically perfect perspective. Um, it's really great. I love how since it's a kung fu show, like we have Aang using his surroundings as weapons, just like kung fu movies. Got him. I love it. This oh man, that destroyed me. That destroyed me when I was a kid. It still does. Like every single time I watch this, I'm just it always gets me. Like Aang hitting Zuko with the mattress. This show is the only show that could do that. It's the only show. There's not a single show that can do it like that. I love how they really sell this idea even early on that like Zuko is so desperate to get Aang. And like we don't know at this point why. It's just like why the hell is like he just jumped off the deck of that ship. Like he could have gotten really hurt. And well later when you find out why he is the way he is, it makes perfect sense why he's like this. You know? Oh boy, here we go. The fire animation. Oh my god, man. The animation for these first two episodes is incredible. It really does look like a movie. If only it were like shot, or not shot, but like animated on ones to make it more smooth, then it would practically be movie. Oh, the Avatar state. I love how you could see the little bubbles coming out of his nose really quick. There's like 2 frames of it. And here is the greatest water animation I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not joking. Like, I talked about it early in the last commentary when Katara's waterbending at the iceberg. Uh, it's great there, but man, when you see the water spout right here, oh boy, it is the best water animation I've ever seen. Like, the best. I really don't think I've ever seen water look that good in a drawing. I love how the characters like Sokka and Katara are just like, what the hell was that? Like he just shot out of the water. Boom. Zuko getting hit. I love how that little chain right there. It's like, how the hell did Zuko get up onto the deck? And then like it shows the chain, and they're like, ah, okay, never mind. Sokka's always getting fucking wrecked. That scene's always beautiful to me. Like, there's something like I don't know why. Like Katara just like flinging the water backwards. Like she's very unskilled at this point. She just like throws it, and I don't know. Just the way like the choir just kind of sounded angelic. Show does that a lot with its music. Oh, I love this. Awesome Aang drawings. Oh my god, it looks so badass. Oh, that was a great shot. There's some really great shading on Zuko right there. Um, and here we have wonderful dialogue again. That kid, Uncle, just did this. I love it. So good. I always get chills at that. Like, I get chills at so many scenes, but just when he's just like, that kid, Uncle, just did this. It's awesome. Great shot of like Appa right there, but like I love the you just the image of Aang with his back up against the camera and the staff like on his legs and they're pointing left and right. I love that. It just looks so cool. It has like this really Buddhist monk kind of Dalai Lama type thing going on. It's a really great cloth animation. And this is where we have our true setup to the entire series. Aang, you must master all four elements. And this is before we have a timer on it, when we find out that Sozin's Comet's coming, which is a great way to get the story even more dramatic. I love how Aang's just like, alright, that's great and all, but before that, we're gonna go fuck around. Like, let's just go to Kyoshi Island and ride Elephant Koi and I love Katara's reaction right there. She's just like looking at him like, are you kidding me? Alright. So that was episode 2, and that concludes the two-part premiere of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Great two-parter episode. Love it. Two of my favorite episodes, I think. Um, yeah, I have a list of episodes that are like my top 10 favorites. These are on there as of now, but yeah, so really love these two episodes. Thanks for listening to the commentary. Hope you did, and I hope that you didn't get bored, and I hope that you didn't think like, oh man, it's not a blind commentary, that sucks. I hope that you just enjoyed it, because, you know, maybe sometimes it's fun to hear somebody who's watched the show already talk about it. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.